Hey everyone, we're about 1 week into Mercury Retrograde and we have 3 weeks to go. So what I'd like to do is do a week by week breakdown of what to expect, how to navigate, and really how to thrive as well. Let's get started. All right, as I said, we're about 1 week into this. So let's start off with what's coming through in the second week, starting with today's Sunday, July 5th. This will be for the week ahead. So week number 2. Past, present, and future influences first. Again, we're looking at this from Sunday to Sunday. We're focusing first on the past energy, and in this particular week ahead, what we're seeing here is the Lovers in reverse. This is, for many of you, a chance to recalibrate and balance out a relationship. There could be words that have been left unsaid. There might be an estrangement for some of you with a family member, and this is a chance to address that. There might be someone in your life, like a friend, that you need to say, I'm sorry to, or I love you. There might also be better opportunities to create more boundaries in your life. And I mention that because the very next card, which is the presenting energy, is the Emperor, which is reclamation of power. And also not being tied to someone else's agenda or feeling obliged to do something just because. So there should be harmony, there should be equity, there should be honesty in relationships. Where that might be lacking, that's where the initial focus can and should be. Then as we take a look at the present energy, it's basically understanding your own power, independence, and accountability, which also can be a challenging thing sometimes, just really owning up to what you said you were going to do, any mistakes or missteps that might have happened, and also realize that you're the one pulling the strings in your own life. And we literally see this Emperor with strings attached. Now, in any sort of agreements, let's say someone's trying to get you to do something or sign on the dotted line, look for those strings. Really make sure that you are not signing up for more than you can do or want to do. And you may also have this sort of independence that's coming forth. This card is very closely connected to entrepreneurial energy. So some of you may just decide, I want to do this on my own. So reclaiming the power that was always yours, taking more accountability, and in relationships, making sure that the sort of exchange is more even than it might have been in the past. And then as we look at the potential for this week, where it's probably going to end up for many of you, we have you being basically able to walk the walk and talk the talk, because the King of Swords is actions and words. And this King of Swords is also getting a bird's eye view. Literally, the bird is flying in and sharing what it's seen. Take time this week to step back. Look at what's going on around you. Don't just operate with blinders on, because you could miss something amazing if you are too sort of laser focused on what's in front of you. People are very open to talk to you. They may want to get your advice. There also is an opportunity for many of you to step up into leadership roles, particularly since we saw in this week multiple opportunities here for connecting to others. This is a great community card. This is a great independence card and power card. And then we have communication and maybe even getting something signed on the dotted line. So overall, the week of July 5th through the 12th is actually looking quite good. So let's go ahead now and transition into the week of the 12th. All right, I'm going to leave the existing cards there so that we can compare and contrast as needed. But now we're looking at the 12th to the 19th. All right, for this particular week, we have a lot of reversals. Let's talk about it. All right, so as we're looking at the energy from the past here in the week of the 12th, we have the Knight of Cups in the reverse position. So just as we had the previous week with relationships and sensitivity, the Knight of Cups in the reversed position is saying, let it go. Whatever it is that you might be holding on to emotionally, this could be sadness, pain, discomfort. Find a way to channel that into something productive. Also, we see someone here playing the heartstrings. Literally, that's what the illustration is showing. So be wary of people that try to take advantage of your kindness, your empathy, your sensitivity. And the key here is to be in touch with your emotions, but not be beholden to them. If there's a major decision that needs to be made, as I'm looking at this week, it's really about spending the first few days, probably until about Wednesday, just sort of like letting things germinate, marinate and sink in. And I believe by the middle of the week, you're going to be in a much better place. Try not to make a decision solely based on emotions. As we go to the middle of the week, and again, just in case you want some clarity, again, we're looking at the week of the 12th. We see now the Hermit card coming through, and the presenting energy this week is one of wisdom, but it requires a little bit of distance, a little bit of time and introspection. And by the middle of the week, then you can come out of your hermit shell. One thing that this card does indicate, because it's reversed, is this belief that you have to go somewhere else for your decision. Trust your knowledge, trust your instincts. You've been through enough to turn the sort of like compass in the right direction. You just need some time to get comfortable with accepting what the next step is going to be. This is also a desire for many of you to stay out of the limelight. There may be a little bit of discomfort with how much visibility is being thrown at you this week, but you'll be all right. The final card for this week ahead, and again, we're looking at the week of the 12th through the 19th, is the Fool. And the Fool is in the reverse position, so it's about taking maybe a couple of steps forward, but one step back. It's not going to be as rapid, the progress that you're experiencing. There may be some setbacks or delays, but ultimately, as long as you keep moving and you keep moving in the direction that feels authentic to you, you'll be all right. If there's travel this week, prepare for delays. If you're feeling overwhelmed, step back for a second, breathe. This week is not necessarily so much about making progress as it is getting knowledge, getting comfortable with the next step, and then deciding to slowly move forward with a sense of a plan, with a sense of certainty, with the understanding that you're not competing against anybody. You're just basically checking in with yourself this week. So really, I think emotions and confidence are the things that are inhibiting some of the growth and movement this week. So try to work on that, and I think you'll be in a better position. All right, let's move on to the week of the 19th to the 26th. And retrograde ends around the 24th or so, give or take, with time zones. But we're still going to have the shadow that week. So let's go ahead and just look at the overall energy for this last week. All right, and we start to see things turning around, which is good. So the karmic energy in the very last week of retrograde, we have the moon coming through in the reverse position at the beginning. This is one of the more challenging cards here. Some of you may be dealing with the inner saboteur, the shadow energy coming through, making you feel like, I can't do this, it's not going to happen. There could be a revelation in your life, a person, a place, a contract, something coming through with a snag, with something in the small print, the fine print, the details. And we talked a little bit about this in the weekly collective. When someone reveals their true colors, embrace that. Don't try to change them. Ask yourself, what am I going to do with this new information? They've shown me just how much or how little I can trust them. What does this do to affect my trajectory? The moon card invites us to look at the depths of our own fears, ambitions, and emotions and understand them. If we look at the Rider-Waite-Smith card for just a moment, you can see that there's a path in the middle. There's a lot of distractions around it. The wolf and the dog can represent competition, noise, people that are just kind of like piping up when they don't need to. The lobster, again, can be fears or things that are just coming to the surface. But once you get through all of those chaotic things, there is a winding path that leads to illumination. Don't forget why you're working so hard. Don't give up on the path ahead. And these little things that may shake you momentarily, these things will pass at the end of the day. As we look at really what this final week is bringing us, it is the opportunity to see a different way. So that path that I just mentioned, it may be something different than you anticipated. Imagine a different outcome. Explore a different way to do something. Two of Wands is dreaming, then doing. It's brainstorming and allowing yourself to daydream a little bit. And if you haven't given yourself a chance to do that, this is a great week to plan, because by week's end, we're really out of retrograde, and now we have you back in your power with the Magician, which is quite auspicious. Before we do a blessing and a block, I just want to rank the next few weeks. The week ahead seems to be one of the most powerful and effective because you have the ability to basically turn a relationship in the right direction, reclaim your power, and get some work done, even though we're in the throes of retrograde. As we look at the week of the 12th, a little bit more challenging. So in this week, it's really your emotions and maybe even fear of getting out in the spotlight that could inhibit some of the otherwise really positive energy that we see here. So take time to do some introspective work to heal your heart, to really lean into your confidence and decisiveness, and then you can take the first step. And then finally, as we're almost through retrograde, looking at the week of the 26th, this is when we're finally coming out of it. There's a little bit of a snag at the very beginning of the week, but by midweek, we see you able to see to the horizon and really start something new. So either get something done this week, the week of the 5th, or you can do planning the next week or two following. And then after we're out of retrograde around the 24th, 25th, we see things looking good again. All right, I just cleared the table. So why don't we go ahead and pull a card for a blessing and also see what might be blocking us. All right, for the entirety of the retrograde period, we got the King of Pentacles in the reverse position. This card is connected to manifesting, and it's also about basically leveling up when it comes to personal development, finances, resources, and power. And so in this period of time, not settling for less is actually a blessing. Putting yourself first is actually a blessing. And taking some time to heal and basically rebuild, this is a blessing, but it requires the difficult conversations associated with that. So boundaries and saying, you know what, I'd love to do this, but I need to study, or I need to rest, or I need to save some money. Whatever it is that you're doing to conserve and invest in yourself. It's a difficult blessing, but a blessing nonetheless. And it aligns with what we were talking about in the very first week when we had the Lovers reversed and then the Emperor. And it's about boundaries and reclamation of power. The block. It's difficult to step into that power role and to fight for yourself. I love this Chariot because we see someone going to war. And we are so used to fighting for other people, especially if it's someone that you love, like a child or a partner or a pet. You think to yourself, I would do anything for them. Would you also do anything for yourself? If the answer is no, you need to shift that around. See yourself as an amazing person that deserves all of that and then some. So fight for yourself. Fight for what matters. Fight for what you're passionate about. And know that stepping into that sort of energy of accountability, authority, and assertiveness, it really is assertiveness more than anything. It is something that comes with practice. The first time, it's a little shaky. Second or third time, you start to find your voice, you start to find your strength, you start to get more confident. So that might be the most difficult thing here, but when we put these two cards together upright, we see someone who's bringing in more abundance and is able to fight for what matters, and the two together are a pretty amazing pair. But the difficulty this month for many of you is prioritizing yourself and fighting for yourself. You can do it. I believe in you. All right, so that is this mini retrograde checkpoint. I hope that you found it helpful. If you did, do me a favor, hit the like and subscribe. It helps more than you realize. You can also go to my website if you'd like to. There are multiple ways to give back there, including PayPal. You can also book a reading, or if you'd like to, you can follow me across social platforms. Right here on YouTube, you can leave a sticker with your comment and become a channel member. There's also an option on my website, by the way, to sign up for my newsletter. And that, my friends, is everything for today. Wishing you so much love and light. Thank you very much for being patient as I rolled this out about a week later than I thought. But that is retrograde after all. Things are going to be delayed sometimes. Take care of yourselves. Wishing you all the best. Bye-bye.